Hi, I'm Throws Machete. I play video games and talk about stuff. Some of my favorite games are roguelikes, like Binding of Isaac and Spelunky 2 and Streets of Rogue. I realize that even though I love the genre, I don't really know anything about the first roguelike, Rogue. It's what the genre's named after, but what was it like, and what about it made it so genre-defining? I guess if we're going to talk about how Rogue defined the genre, a good place to start would be to define the genre. What makes a roguelike a roguelike? At its core, all you really need is procedurally generated levels and permadeath, right? Well, no, not exactly. There are a few exceptions to the generated levels rule, but for our purposes, these features are a good starting point. The way maps are generated varies wildly, like how Binding of Isaac has set room tiles that are randomly assembled with randomized sets of enemies in the rooms, whereas Risk of Rain 2 has preset maps that can have areas that are open or closed, with enemies spawning at random depending on the difficulty scale, and the item boxes and the like placed randomly throughout the levels. Both of these methods are perfectly valid for the purpose they serve. They make each playthrough unique, and give the games the replayability that makes the genre so appealing. This replayability was no mistake. Back when Rogue was first developed in the early 1980s, games were mostly the same with every playthrough. The developers, Michael C. Toy and Glenn Wickman, wanted to make a game that they would enjoy playing, which they couldn't do if they made all the puzzles they had to solve in the game. So, to quote the developer Glenn Wickman, the program itself should build the dungeon, giving you a new adventure every time you played, and making it possible for even the creators to be surprised by the game. This idea of creating a novel experience with every run seems to have shaped almost every decision in the development of Rogue. Everything from the room layout to the effects any wands or potions may have is randomized, not only making you have to navigate enemies from room to room, but also to take risks on using an item, hoping it will have a positive effect that might help you survive to make it further into the dungeon. This encourages experimenting, and makes each run full of fun challenges you may not have dealt with before. Like here, for example. I fell into a trap and I lost almost all my health. So if I get hit one more time, my run is over. So I go into my bag and I try a potion, which happens to be a health potion, which heals me enough to continue without dying to a rogue bat flying around or an ice monster blasting me with magic from across the room. Many modern roguelikes still use similar game design to get the same effect. The game Barony is a great example of this. Scrolls and potions have random effects, from removing a spell from your known spells or lighting yourself on fire to healing you or upgrading your armor. And pretty much every item you can get in the game needs to be appraised to check the quality or whether or not it's cursed. Plenty of other games have similar items that work in the same way, like pills in Binding of Isaac or syringes in Streets of Rogue. And all these games share one other important design choice: permadeath, the other main defining aspect of roguelikes. Unlike the randomized levels, permadeath was not the original intent of the developers at the start of development. This was added during early playtesting. At first, the game had to be completed in one sitting, which was changed at the request of playtesters. However, the developers noticed a tendency for save scumming, or repeatedly reloading the game to get past a tough part. To stop this from happening and to encourage what would later be called consequence persistence, they added permadeath to the game, stopping the players from save scumming. Now let's talk about this for a moment. Consequence persistence. The events precipitating from your actions have a permanent effect on the game. Focusing design decisions around this makes for tense gameplay, pulling your attention away from finding the right sequence of buttons to press onto surviving in the moment. And that, I feel, is the spirit of roguelikes. The threat of the permanent loss of your progress is what makes the genre stand out to me. There are very few moments outside of the genre that can equal standing by the door to Megaman in Binding of Isaac as it rumbles open, a tense reminder of the challenges faced and the challenge yet to come. Or the feelings of relief, satisfaction, and pride as he crumbles to pieces and falls, defeated. Almost every roguelike has an experience like this. What's incredible to think about is that people playing Rogue in the 1980s must have felt those same feelings as they collected the Amulet of Yendor for the first time. I just appreciate how ubiquitous that feeling is for roguelikes. So much so that 40 years ago, people were feeling that same feeling. So that little incidental design of consequence persistence really defines the genre for me, and shows how something as simple as having a clear design philosophy can make or break a game, or an entire genre of games. I guess that's about it. I could probably go on further, but I think you get it. Rogue might not be the most thrilling gaming experience, but its clean design and tense gameplay clearly left its impact on video games as a whole. Well, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe or whatever, you know the drill. See ya. I just want to give a quick shout out to Sinvicta for letting me use a couple clips from his channel for the Mega Satan fight. If you like Binding of Isaac content, check him out. He has an Eden streak going that's over 700 now. Alright, that's it. See ya.